Good evening, everybody. The time is 10 p.m. BST. Welcome to WooTube. How are we all doing tonight? My name's Baa Ram. In case you hadn't noticed today, because I have kept it quite quiet, I've been given some scoops. Just a couple here and there. I am worried that my chat bot is not working, which is going to really suck. So I'm going to have to do this way. And hopefully I can still do everything I need to do. Yes, I put some puzzles up today. They weren't necessarily meant to be solved. Or not entirely. There were some red herrings in there, along with things. We'll go through them. But I have 3 cards for you tonight. Hello everyone. Nice to see lots of names that I recognise in chat. Nick, excellent to see you here. Nice to see some new people as well. scWOOps, bring them in. Okay, so this is card number 1. And it is card number 1. If you have a little look down in the bottom corner there, this is the first card of the set. Everything tonight is anarch, and we'll quickly go through these. So we did have I failed to print out my little thing where I found some people who had some really good guesses at various things through here. Lots of people deciding that you could gain 2 Logan Pauls off this one. Hey, Cold Lava, excellent being on cast with you last night. And just as a little kind of aside to why I put these puzzles together. UK Slack, if you're familiar with it, if you're a UK patron, love to get a little bit grumpy when they don't get any scoops, and so I thought I'd be a good person and give them some scoops. So I made these nice little puzzles for them, and I think everyone enjoyed them. Not quite as much as I enjoyed everyone getting incredibly frustrated over trying to work out what they meant. So let's see if we can talk through this card. If I press this and this, maybe this works. Please work. Is it here? Uh-oh. Okay, I might have... No, this is fine. I didn't do it one for this. This is fine. Okay, so somebody works out that the gentleman up in the top left-hand corner here, we'll work through the clues from left to right, is a Brazilian footballer called Juan, which might give away a little bit of the cost of this event. People worked out this event. We do indeed have a event called Strike and then Fund. And then let's have a little look at these pictures below here. That first laundry detergent is a very specific brand of laundry detergent called Gain. We've then got a picture of the Elite 4. We have a picture of an event. We have a picture of a trash panda. We then have a stack and some grip tape. We have a picture of Theresa May. We have a picture of 2 gain controls. And then in the bottom corner there is a picture of 1 influencer. So, what do we think this card looks like? Oh, why is this? Has this changed on your screen? Please tell me it has, because otherwise I'm in a lot of trouble. I should be streaming this screen right now. Hopefully you can see it. Yes, okay. There's a big delay on my on my YouTube stuff, so that's good. So Strike Fund. It's a 1-cost event. Anarch. It's 1 influence. It says gain 4. When this event is trashed from your grip or stack, you may gain 2. A very simple concept, but one that we've seen before, and one that fits in quite nicely here. Let's have a quick talk through some of the things that you can do with this. So, card up on screen here, we have moshing. Obviously, this is a brilliant thing to mosh away, because you're going to get your moshing value and you're also going to gain an extra 2. The same would go for cards like Zero, for instance, where we're going to get some extra value if the Zero happens to hit a Strike Fund. Banker, very popular card right now in Anarch decks, and why not turn those cards into money as you run through the ice, taking net damage. You might want to trash your entire grip with Guinea Pig. Gaining 10 from the Guinea Pig, maybe gaining an extra 2 from any Strike Funds you have in hand. That could be a pretty impressive turn right now. You might be playing Carnivore. It's a console. It's available. You could trash this from your hand and gain money as you're going. Obviously, there's a comparison here with Steelskin and decks which want to place Strike Fund. I mean, there's not an Anarch deck out there that doesn't want to play Steelskin, is there? But all of the things which we just talked about work with both these cards very well. This is a fun one with Anicam, because if you trash this from your hand, you're going to draw a card with Anicam. You're also going to gain the money. So maybe this could go in Shaper. It is only 1 influence, and maybe we can find some ways to trash stuff from our hands. Cards that we've already seen, or maybe we even pop out Reclaim and we trash a Strike Fund to bring back some hardware or program, gaining 2, drawing a card with Anicam. That seems pretty fun to me. We might also see this in Criminal. Probably less likely. They have a lot of decent options here. But they also are suddenly running quite a lot of things which seem to trash stuff from hand. We've got a lot of new cybernetics, which have been pretty popular. And so if you're going to take damage from hand, why not take some money with it at the same time? A little bit less reliable, but maybe not the worst of choices, especially in sort of startup criminal decks. I could see this definitely making its way in as an option. Now, the one good thing about this is it is only as a normal card, click to gain free, which is not a power level, which we see that often in standard decks, especially in competitive decks. It does have that extra utility, but I think we all agree that Anarch doesn't really need a massive boost to its econ options right now. So I'm quite happy with the power level of where this lies, and I think it's a fun card, whilst being sort of almost fairly obvious if you think about it. But yeah, I like it. I approve. Let's move on. We can do that. We can do this. I also put up this little puzzle earlier. Little bit of a tricky one. We can see this lovely picture of what is a sort of cafe, or a sort of, it's clearly sort of a community help project type thing going on here. Very, very wholesome picture, especially for Anarch. I quite want to see a flip version of this where they're all holding guns, just to sort of balance it out. But we had some clues here to give away what this card might be about. So let's have a little look at these cards. So we had All-Nighter, which is a resource. We had Hernando Cortez, who is a connection. And we had Wildside across the top, which is a location. And I think this is the bit which quite a few people seem to get pretty well. So we're looking at something which is a resource, connection, and location. Our chat pointing out as well, patchwork sticking around. So yeah, that's another thing that we could do with our previous card. So that's the top line. Moving on to the next line, we've got some corp cards here, starting off with Polana, which suggests that this is going to do something the first time each turn. We have Asa Group, who is very interested in the corp installing cards. And then we have Underway Grid, which threw everyone off, and mainly because I was actually going on the Nisei version of this. This is the only card which specifically mentions cards in the root of a server that isn't a remote server specifically. So that could be quite important. We have Chiashi. Chiashi, lots of options here. I specifically put this one in because there's a few interesting things. Chiachi has an interesting clause where if you have an AI installed, it will trash cards from the top of the runner's stack. Shotbot 3000, everyone's favourite friend, especially Apex's. This is a hardware which will allow you to draw a card. There's other things on there. They might have been thrown in as red herrings. And then we have Fermenter, which is a 2 influence Anarch card. So we put them all together and we end up with this. This is a 2-cost resource. It's a connection location. It's Lago Parananoa Shelter or something along those lines. Really nice looking place. But here it says the first time each turn, the corp installs a card in the root of a server. You may trash the top card of your stack to draw 1 card, and it's 2 influence. So this is pretty interesting because I wasn't too sure about this card at first, but the more I've been kind of looking at it and working out what I was going to say about it, the more I'm starting to really come round to some options. Let's look at a few things which go pretty well with this card. So number one is our first card, Strike Fund. If we trash this off the top of our stack, then as well as drawing a card with the shelter, we're going to gain 2 credits. Pretty good. Certainly not bad. Obviously, if we trash a Steelskin Scarring off the top of our stack, we're going to draw 2 cards with Steelskin plus 1 card with Lago. Now that's pretty decent. I like it. In there before I lose or gain 1, 69 viewers. Excellent stuff. This could also see some play in certain kind of shaper decks. This is only 2 influence. If we build an Anicam package, again, we've got Anicam going on here. But if we trash a card off the top of deck and it's an event, then we're going to draw with Anicam and with Lago. And again, we've got this really good kind of draw engine going on there. I've got a few things here. Simulchip, I think, is potentially going to be like quite a big part of new Anarch builds. It might not, but I would see it being a big option because with the bin breakers going, Anarch still has a lot of cards which they want to trash stuff from hand, or they have to trash stuff from hand, and that only seems to be getting more so. So I can see Simulchip being a big thing both in Anarch, and obviously if you were to play this in Shaper, for instance. Same with Labour Rights. I can see probably Labour Rights being a more commonly used card, just because Anarch Recursion, they now might need to actually recur their breakers. Buffer Drive is always a fun one, a card that I like, a card that Andre famously hates. But this would allow you to get the draw whilst putting the card which you trash from the top of your stack back on the bottom of your stack. Or not putting it back on the bottom if it's not a card that you actually need for that matchup. Bit janky, probably a bit expensive, but there is something a little bit fun which we can probably get to in a second with this. It's still worth considering. Prognostic Q-Loop. Especially if we were to play this in Criminal, Prognostic Q-Loop allows us to see the top of our deck, knowing whether we want to actually trash it or not. That feels like a really good way, because this is a May ability, so this feels like a great way of kind of working out whether we want to fire this or not. Here's another interesting thing. So one of the things with Lago Shelter here is that it works. We only kind of get it to work when the corp installs cards in the root of the server. So you kind of want to keep them installing stuff in the root of the server. Hermes here is going to bounce their stuff back to hand if you can score agendas. So there could be a good little combo. It's maybe not sort of massive, but getting extra sort of fires of your Lago Paranoia Shelter by having Hermes in your deck as well. And finally, obviously, this is a connection and it's unique, and so it goes straight into your Paul's Cafe deck, which I'm sure we're all building in our heads because of all the new connections which come out. Little fun thing here, there's some corps which might install stuff in roots of servers on your turn. For instance, Ob, which means that we can get another fire off of Lago Shelter. And against certain very fast Ob variants, we're just going to want to find our stuff as fast as we can to get in. So firing this sort of twice is pretty significant. The other thing that is significant is that this is potentially draw on the corpse turn, not something that we get very often, and something that can really save you in certain situations. Obviously, if the corpse just playing operations, not so much. But if they want to install something and then kind of put a threat on you of some kind, no pun intended there, then you can kind of gain a bit of extra value off that and get some additional tempo here. Going back to Strike Fund, it wouldn't be a WooTube stream if I didn't tell you some ridiculous idea that I've come up with. So here's something that you can do with Lago Shelter and Strike Fund and Buffer Drive. If you happen to be able to draw right to the end of your deck, which maybe isn't too hard with all the new tools which Anarch has at the moment, and you maybe just put back 3 Strike Funds into your deck and you install a buffer drive and you have a Lago, as long as you can keep firing this thing, then you can just keep getting 2 credits every turn as you draw a strike fund, trash a strike fund, put strike fund back on the bottom of your deck. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's never gonna work, but like it's fun, right? Right. I think that's everything I've got to say here. So let's have a look at the third and final card, and this is what I probably assume is the strongest card of this set. Not much of a kind of puzzle here. This was the first thing I put out today, but just a little glimpse here. We know this is a hardware. We know it's a chip, and the only thing we know about it is it says trash a corp card, and that is 1 influence. So I'll just oh no, sorry, I need to oh sorry, I'm back to sorry, this has gone back to Chatbot again. I've oh no oh gosh, what's happening? Oh my word. Whoa. Okay, so I think Apex has infected my computer here. He seems to be really keen for his little mate Chatbot to take the reins for a minute, which Chatbot's a 1-cost hardware that says when your turn begins, you may trash another of your install cards. If you do, draw 1 card or will remove 1 tag. This is Solidarity Badge. This is a 1-cost hardware chip. It's 1 influence, it's anarch. It says the first time each turn you trash a corp card, place 1 power counter on this hardware. When your turn begins, you may remove 1 hosted power counter to draw 1 card or remove 1 tag. This looks like a lot of fun. This looks potentially really good. And we're going to do a bit of a dive into what's doable with this. And I forgot to hide my little slideshow here, but the first thing that goes straight to mind is Freedom Commando. If you are trashing 1 thing a turn, which Freedom is pretty good at doing, then this becomes a 1-cost hardware which draws you a card a turn at the least. That's great. That's a great draw engine for an ID which tends to be a bit slow and need additional kind of need some oomph to go forward. Plus, it has other benefits. This means that it's also really good in other IDs that want to trash things. I think essentially just calling this out, René Loop Arsenal loves trashing stuff. You're probably going to be trashing stuff with him anyway. Why not get some additional draw or tag removal here as well? Obviously, if you're able to trash things which aren't normally trashable, then you can get additional counters on here. Imp being a really obvious choice, and we could see sort of Nobka rebuilds or Friday Chip builds. I think Friday Chip isn't rotating. I didn't actually check that one. But makes a lot of sense, as does Ice Destruction, which will also add a counter to Solidarity Badge. So hippos, chisels, you name it, it's gonna add a counter. This could go in criminal. It's 1 influence. It's very easy to slot anywhere you like, and it's pretty common that both the other factions also are normally carrying something which can help charge this up. Criminals tend to be playing Miss Bones, maybe 2, possibly 3 going forward. We'll see. And a lot of shapers currently are playing a copy of Parisia. Again, they can use this along with Solidarity Badge, and you're kind of getting draw for almost free, depending on how much the stuff is you're trashing. This is power counters. This means you can charge it. We can put this into Padma, along with any other kind of charge cards. We could put it in Arasana and play flux capacitors, and then we can charge it to gain our draw or tag removal as we wish. We can charge it up with Daig first Netcat and draw into our Kushuks for one. This is clearly pretty decent in Shaper, and again, only one influence, not too bad. It is unique, which is probably good, because I think if it wasn't unique, it would be so broken. Because if you could have 3 of these installed, then you've broken the game. Let's go back to Freedom. Maybe we could play God of War. As long as you don't mind floating a single tag, and we've got to kind of question how bad single tag punishment is. You could play God of War. This gains 2 virus tokens a turn, which is about the best thing that generates virus tokens, which you could use for Freedom, whilst removing the tag at the start of each turn, so that you don't end up in too many tags. You could play Anarch, and in my case, I'd also be looking at Freedom with Hot Pursuit again, just floating a single tag but taking all of the money, and kind of and gaining that access. Also, if you're doing this as Freedom, you're probably able to trash all of their tag punishment. A lot of tag punishment, especially single tag punishment, is only 0 or 1 credit. That's very easy for Freedom to get rid of, or anyone with Imp, which again is going to go really well with this card. We had this card spoiled yesterday, Oppo Research. It's essentially the new HHN in many ways. It can potentially give you 4 tags at the end of the corpse turn. Solidarity Badge is going to allow you to remove one of those tags, which means that you have a click to pop your Fermenter, to place your Gamble, and still completely clear all of your tags, so that potentially you don't go completely broke by doing it. That feels pretty incredible. We've seen other Anarch cards which have tags and things going on. I can't pronounce her name, I'm really sorry. Iru Ayashi Pessoa says that she will take a tag for this pretty decent benefit if we can get that going. Maybe we have ways of defending our resources so that we can clear the tag at the start of next turn, and then we don't have to worry about clearing it manually. This is also a 1-cost hardware, which means it's great in as. We can put this down for free. We can draw a card with Masterwork. We can install it on the run, on the way in with Masterwork, as we're going to trash something to gain the counter, and then we're going to get more draw. We're going to get our tag removal. All of that going on. That feels pretty great in certain criminal builds. Now, this is at the start of your turn, so whereas it does help in many ways with the sort of Oppo Research type tag removal, maybe a little bit with Mutually Assured Destruction tag removal, it does not help you with tags that you're going to get on the corpse turn. So a few things that might play around this card. We have Public Trail, which obviously is going to give you a tag, and then before you can do anything about it, they're going to probably hit you with something. And what's that going to be? Is it going to be a retribution? Are they going to retribute your Solidarity Badge? Is that actually the worst thing if they do? I think if they're wasting a retribution on a Solidarity Badge, then you still have all your breakers and other things that you need. So, and yet if they don't, then at the start of your turn, then you're going to shed your tag anyway. Self-growth program is also a bit of an issue with this, as they could self-growth your Solidarity Badge plus one other thing, and then you don't have it installed at the start of your turn as well. You've lost all of your counters on it. So this could be a pretty decent way of dealing with Solidarity. MCA Informant, like unseen card for many years, but we do have a lot of new connections coming in. Maybe we see this. Solidarity Badge isn't going to help against this because we are considered to have an additional tag rather than being actually tagged. This is only one cost, which means Kimberlite Field could quite easily trash this using basically trashing almost anything on the board. Again, not a card that we've really seen much of, but maybe we see a bit more of this now that the bin breakers are going. And I think that's about it with Solidarity Badge. I mean, it's not it. There's probably so much more. I'm gonna kind of I did have ScapeNet in here, and I just noticed people mentioning it, and either I skipped past it or I forgot to put the screenshot in. But yeah, this is a chip, which means that you can technically remove it from the game with ScapeNet, which is a trace 7, quite a brutal trace, as long as I think you've trashed a card or accessed a card. Pretty good card all round, I feel like. I'm really psyched to kind of pop this into a few different decks. Maybe it's a full build around in something like Freedom. Maybe it's just sort of an additional bit of tech in certain other decks, but I feel like we're probably going to see a fair amount of this card on the scene. And I think that's about it. These are the 3 cards finally in all their glory. Yeah, Apex would have been pretty fun with Solidarity Badge sales. I'm I'm not surprised there. Yeah, I don't think I've got too much more to say. But it was like, thank you to the team for shipping me over some cards at the last minute. It's been really fun kind of seeing them and getting to put them out. Let me know what you think of these. Let me know which one's gonna probably make it first onto WooTube. It's probably gonna be Solidarity Badge. For those of you who don't know, I stream on Monday nights, normally around about 8:30 British time. And yeah, come and join us sometime. We play competitive jank and have a lot of fun. I think that's it for tonight. In about half an hour, Yusengrin's going to be starting daily casts, and we can have a look. There's some pretty nutty stuff which came out with the Slums cast as well today, so I'm looking forward to hearing that properly. All right, thanks everyone for dropping by. See you again. Ciao for now.